I have a few issues with Crashman Stage. I'm not talking issues like it's too difficult, but more issues along the audio-visual lines. For starters, the background is blue. Just solid, boring blue. It's like playing the original Mega Man all over again. Where's the extra detail? There's just nothing. And those round ball things in the midst of all those wires, I mean, what are they? They're sort of reminiscent of the balls on sticks and Bomb Man stage in the original Mega Man, but other than that, there's really no connection to the fact that Crash Man throws bombs. There are no explosive enemies, there are no bomb-themed background items or platforms to stand on. I mean, it's got nothing to do with explosions. Where's the big kaboom? Now, these platforms, well, they don't have anything to do with anything, but it's a nice warm-up for later on in the game. You'll see them again. So there is a good learning curve in Mega Man. It's just, I don't know, it feels like there should have been more to this stage. Even a halfway charged atomic fire shot will take out those shambling tin cans just fine, and will prevent them from using their super secret power of tossing cans at you that they do on difficult mode. And Crashman stage is a vertical stage. I've said before that I really respect vertical stages. They're different. They allow you to do things you can't normally do with regular stages. Like, have that tricky spot right there, which takes a lot of trial and error to know exactly where you can jump without getting hit. But, I mean, aside from that, now it's just ladders. Okay, the sky's getting a little darker. This is good. This is improvement. And now it's black. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. But it's still kind of boring. I mean, it's just ladders. Okay, this will be good for a little while, but this goes on for several screens. And if you don't have something like the leaf shield to protect you, or the time stopper, which is only good for part of the ladder climb, it's just dull, because you climb, and then you get hit by birds, and you fall down, and you come back up again. I don't know, I just feel like there could have been so much more done with this stage. Even the music doesn't feel quite right. I mean, it's not bad music, but it's just not as interesting as some of the other tracks. And another thing about the music is that, even though I have said that the soundtrack to this entire game is fantastic, the sound quality in later Mega Man games was improved. I don't know if it was the instrument set that they were using, or how they processed the sound, or whatever it was. It did get a touch better technically, even though the tunes themselves may or may not have been as good as some of the ones here. Well, we're coming in to fight Crashman, and Crashman, you're supposed to fight him with Airman's weapon, ha ha ha, but I'm going to be a pain in the butt, and prove to you once again that you don't need to follow the walkthrough's advice. Well, yeah, you can, it makes it faster, but see, I'm doing just fine with the Plasma Blaster. You can take him down. It's just, well, really more patience than necessary. Now, can you hit him with other weapons? Not really. Air Shooter is just about the only thing that does anything to him. So, just run back and forth. You know, right now Mega Man's looking kind of like one of those stage enemies with his stock. You know, Crash Man's got more excitement going on with his patterns and his motion. Yeah, you can do it. And I've probably more than proved my point already, so let's switch over to Air Shooter, shall we? Yeah, that's much better. Depending on how the game is feeling, I've killed Crashman in anywhere from 1 to 3 hits with the Air Shooter, so just like Woodman, you have the right weapon for the job, and he dies pretty quickly. See, that's my other problem with the earlier Mega Man games, is that the amount of damage that you do with your special weapons, the number of vulnerabilities that certain bosses have, it's just not always consistent. Ugh, bugs me. Eyebrows. I has them. It's Dr. Wily. Oh, yes, finally, the approach to his castle, which we finally see from this game on. We now know what this fortress is that we're climbing into, and we get to see the passageway that leads us through. So, here we go. Very cool. This music is probably the most widely recognized, the most popular song in all of Mega Mandom. Any Mega Man game, it's hard to top this one. It really is. It's been remixed so many times. It's so perfectly fitting. You're a Mega Man on a Mega mission. This is your song. It fits the approach to Dr. Wily's castle, and I've always enjoyed the approach to Dr. Wily's fortress, castle, whatever it may be. I don't know, there's something that just makes me feel very heroic about fighting past all of the exterior defenses and barging my way in, sneaking my way in, however it is that I get into the building, but that I have to do it myself. I'm not just teleported in there. It's just... feels complete. It's like, it's your destiny to do this. Well, okay, maybe it's not that dramatic, but... And I'm using the wall walker here because it doesn't get enough love. It really doesn't. I like that little critter. And it is a bit of a tight squeeze to use item 1, which can basically replace item 3 anywhere it can be used. But you'll want to save up item 1 for later on in this stage and also later on in the game. I'm going to switch to air shooter again. Once again, it proves its worth. I've extolled its virtues, but it's a good weapon. It's really handy because those Sniper Joes are plentiful, and they're taken out so much better by that. Now, the next screen is a little bit of a mistake, where I tried to use air shooter in a situation where, I really should have just used the plasma blaster. See here, only one of those tornadoes is connecting, and it even bounced off his shield. It just takes too long, and I hate to waste your time. I hate to waste my time. So, I should have just done this in the first place. Climb to the top of the ladder, shoot him, climb back down, climb back up. Ha, it's done. See? No need to worry about that. And I like that Mega Man 2 is remembering the good parts about having vertical stages. So here again is a pretty interesting puzzle, I think, where it's just a gap. You need to find your way across it. Well, some people might try item 2, or they might climb up to the ladder and use item 1, but if you do that, about the third platform, you're going to run out of headspace and won't be able to jump to the ladder. So you have to start as soon as you get onto the screen at the bottom portion of that ladder to start firing your item 1. That's another one of those things where, after you know what to do, it's simple. But until you figure out what to do, you're probably going to get pretty frustrated trying it over and over again, falling, getting hit, needing to eventually refill your weapon's energy when you get there and realize, oh, oops, I'm out. I'm switching preemptively to the quick boomerang, which I haven't used yet in the game. Just dragon! 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 Okay. Which I haven't used yet because I got it a little bit later in the game, and it's really more useful in the Dr. Wily stages. Getting hit here can be extremely dangerous because if you if you fall back at the wrong spot, you'll just go down the hole, which is why I like to stay on the top one. If I get hit, I can fall back to the right portion. And this battle's over pretty quickly with the quick boomerang. It's an excellent battle, though. It's a lot of fun, and that dragon is another one of the most iconic Mega Man bosses, right up there with the Yellow Devil. The only problem is all of that sprite flicker. I don't know how much of the battle you saw, but I certainly missed a big part of it, just because everything was flashing and flickering. More technological issues that will eventually get resolved. Ever deeper into Skull Castle. Why there's a weapon capsule there, I'll never know. Dr. Wily probably, I don't know, dropped it by accident or something, but... Oh, or maybe there's a sympathizer. Maybe there's a turncoat in the ranks who's actually trying to work for Mega Man. I like this idea. These prop tops, these propeller head enemies, are easily dispatched with the air shooter, another place where it's useful, and you can fight them over and over again to get power-ups to specifically refill your jet sled if you're not at full power with that, because you need it to cross that gap. Remember to go for the second ladder, not the first ladder, and if you do happen to get the first ladder, don't waste Crash Bomber on those 3 walls there. You can actually jump over them. It's funny how that works. But if you absolutely need to use it, use Crash Bomber here to get the 1-up or the E-Tank. I'm maxed out on E-Tanks already, so I don't need it.